problems are not going to be done as part of Monday's lesson. I assign that as part of Thursday's, but of course you can start early and do them at any time you choose. Okay, a grocery store is offering sale on bread and soup. Khalil buys 4 cans of soup, 3 loaves of bread for $11.67. Rhonda buys 8 cans of soup and 1 loaf of bread for $12.89. So this is going to be a system where you write equations. Make sure you write your let statements. So let's say in this case, X equals soup cans, and that was number of, and let Y equal bread, and that was number of loaves. Write your 2 equations and then of course solve for both X and Y. You're going to skip number 8 here. Okay, number 9 here is a sequence, and it looks like it is a geometric sequence because it's decreasing and it looks like it's cutting in half each time. So it's going to have to be geometric. If it is a geometric, go ahead and graph it. I would say you could do your X values here, maybe every other. And probably going up by 5s at least to get to that 40. Okay, and then of course plot the sequence. Remember, a sequence is discrete. You will not connect the dots. Okay, and then of course answer the questions that follow. Okay, number 10 here. If a ball is dropped from 160 centimeters, rebounds to 120, how high will the ball be on the 2nd, 5th, or the nth bounce? So you first have to find the rebound ratio. Okay, and that is the bounce height divided by the drop height. So bounce divided by drop. Okay, and that'll get you going. Once you find that ratio, you can then find the height of the 2nd and the 5th bounce, and then of course you could write an equation. And your equation is probably going to start with H equals 160 multiplied by that rebound ratio to whatever number of bounce it is. So I used N for the number of bounces. Okay, number 11 here is a set of data. This is covering a little bit of the beginning of chapter 6, where we did start chapter 6 on 2 variable data. You are going to make a scatter plot. So make a scatter plot on the graph here. And it says you are not going to find the least squares regression line because we did not do that, but you can find your line of best fit. So find your equation that best fits. So your equation might be slightly different than what someone else has. Okay, you're going to skip part C and just describe the association. Remember, it's form, strength, direction, outliers, and then you want to explain what does the slope mean and what does the y-intercept mean in context. So in this case, it looks like the number of months supplements being taken versus days a cold lasted. So it looks like, well, these are not in order. So you'd have to, of course, graph the plots and see what you come up with. Okay, number 12, you are simplifying using your rules of exponents here. C and D are not exponents. You're going to have to multiply the two binomials. So this is where you would want to set up a generic rectangle perhaps, or double distribute. Okay, 13, write and solve an equation for the problem below. I don't think there's anything extra I need to do about that one. 14, you are just sketching some graphs based on the given information, and these of course are going to be exponential. Make sure you label. Okay, for number 15, parts A and B are recursive. So you were going to write recursive for A and B. Then you were going to write the explicit for D and C. And forgive my horrible writing. 16, you are going to record the multiplier. So if you are increasing, what would the multiplier be? And if it was a decrease, what's the multiplier? Remember, decreasing is how much of it is left. So if it were increasing, say, 10%, my multiplier is 1.10. If it were decreasing by 10%, my multiplier is 100% minus 10% equals 90%, written as a decimal 0.90. Okay, you're going to skip number 17. Totally doable, but I just thought it was too much. We could do without that one. Number 18 has to do with a marble situation and a collection. And it is going to be a linear situation. Okay, so you're going to have to find the slope for part B, and then you're going to use that information to answer part C. You'll write an equation here for part D, and then of course use the equation to find in what year something occurs. And back to some diamond problems that we haven't seen in a while. Okay, in Schoology or Google Classroom, your teacher is going to post some exit tickets. There is 7.1.1 number 1 and 7.1.1 number 2. So 7.1.1 number 1, you're going to do that on Monday. And 7.1.1 number 2 is Thursday. And that's just a guide. You don't have to do them on those days. You find the time to do them when you can. Please be sure to check out your teacher's office hours. So if you have specific questions on homework problems, your teacher can go live with you and help you during that time. Feel free to email as you want. Thanks, guys.